Fans, welcome into Talkin Grizz, Memphis' home for Talkin Hoops. We're going to be here every week talking about Grizzlies stuff all around the league. No, just around here. I'm your host, Kelcey Wright Johnson. Thank you for being here with us today. Joining me are three beautiful, lovely guests, and I'm going to start on my very right, your very left, Omari Sankofa from The Athletic.
Yeah, Grizzly staff writer for The Athletic. I'm sure a lot of you probably already know me by now.
I'm sure you already know me.
I would hope so. I've been here for like a year, so.
Should I get your autograph while I say
they'll know me by now.
Do you have the blue check?
I do have the blue check, yeah.
Okay.
I had it before I got here.
Oh my God!
Omari, I thought you were like a humble person, quiet, and I'm like, whoa.
Do you want to come host this show?
We all have the blue check.
I don't have a blue check. I got blue M&Ms, but that's about it. That's it.
All right, I came out strong. I'm sorry.
All right, next to Mr. Blue Check. My partner in crime, Meghan Tripplet, digital reporter for Grizz Media and the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yes, thank you. I don't have a blue check. I don't know how to follow that one up. I'm just Meghan. That's it.
Megan's still got her rain jacket on because it's a rainy
day
outside.
It's rainy. I'm ready to as soon as we leave out of here, I gotta go brave the awful conditions.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And to my left, the one and only Devin Marquette Walker.
That's his favorite thing to do to his face. I don't know why.
Man.
Marquette.
I got a full name and a one and only. That tops your blue check, Omari.
He is in charge. No, he does everything.
Yeah,
social
I'm
media wise.
everything.
It's a team, but he's one of three.
Gang, gang.
Let's dive right in. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Memphis Grizzlies are sending three young gentlemen to the All-Star game, competing in the Rising Stars Challenge. John Morant, obviously Team USA, Jaren Jackson Jr., also Team USA, and Brandon Clark, repping El Canada in Team World. So the first question, I'm going to go over to you, Omari. Number one, who's having the best performance in the Rising Star game?
Yeah, I think the easy answer is Ja. Yeah, I mean, he just has the highest, highlight potential. He's going to try and dunk on some people. He might have sent the deep three or two. The head fakes, crossovers, all that. With no defense, I mean, I'm sure Ja's just going to take that and run with it and try and put on the show. I think Brandon and Jan will play well for sure.
You don't get to choose everyone.
Well, I think they will play well.
That's my job.
I think they will play well. But I think Ja's the easy choice just because of the season he's had so far.
Yeah.
That does seem easy. Megan?
Yeah, I mean, that's my job. I never can choose. I can never pick.
Okay.
That's something I have a problem. Yeah, I'm working on it. But however, I think the best way of saying it, because I hate to put people up against each other, who's going to be better. I think who's going to shine a little bit more is going to be Ja, because this is his moment. He's talked about it.
Change the question again.
I did. I mean,
change question person.
I'm good at it. I do it all the time. But
Changing
anyway,
questions?
yeah, I do. I'm really good at it.
Meghan
However,
Tripplet, big question changer.
However, Ja has said all throughout the season is that I feel as if there's a chip on my shoulder. People doubted me, didn't think that they didn't expect me to be here, and for it to be his rookie year, he's playing this Rising Star, and the Rookie of the Year talks is going on. You got it on your shirt. I think this is his moment, and I know that he wants to just not do it for himself or his family, for Memphis. So I really do think that Ja's going to shine.
I mean, we can talk about feelings all we want, but Jaren wants to play well too.
No, he does.
Wants to play well too.
Which I totally agree with you. Jaren does. I just at this moment of where we are in this season, I know Ja has a lot that he is feeling, and he's talked about it. He's talked about it several times.
Brandon has feelings.
Jaren could. But I'm not saying they don't have feelings. Jaren's obviously gonna go out there and shoot. But we know all the looks right now are on Ja. Everyone is looking at Ja. And that could also go into being a negative, and I hope he handles the pressure very well. But it's hard not to say Ja right now, because like as Omari said, the ball's gonna be in his hand, and it might not even be someone who's gonna produce a lot of points. It's gonna be a guy who's gonna be doing it all, whether it's passing the ball, the assists, the rebounding, the defense. He's got that X's and O brain that we all see and love.
I think one of the big things is, before I come to you, is that Team World has won 2 of the last 3 games, and the MVP obviously goes to the winning team. So it might not be Ja. Brandon might have to step up.
Of course you're going for Team World.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's Canadian over here.
Of course, you're biased.
Shout out to the
Yeah,
Canadians.
I am. Shout out Brandon Clark.
We sang "Oh Canada" before the show. If you guys want to hear that.
None of us knew the lyrics to it.
We did. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like karaoke in here. But we're talking about the Rising Stars game. For me, I saw Jaren playing it last year. He he was one of those guys. He was like a big guard. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds, I believe, and he looked like. In these kind of games, bigs don't do well, but the way Jaren's set up his game is, he's built to do well. But on the other hand, this game is also a place where guards flourish. If you look back at the last couple, 3, 4, 5 years, you have all guards being the MVP. Kyle Kuzma, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Jamal Murray, shout out Canada. Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, shout out Canada. The only 2 big guys that have won
does that mean that another Canadian is bound to get it now because it's every other year?
I have said shout out Canada.
Just
but
saying,
the only
Brandon's
2 big guys that
looking
have won the MVP is Andrew Drummond in 2014 and Kenneth Faried in 2013. Then you go back to guards. So for me, I say the game is set up for guards. So I'll say Ja. Ja puts on a highlight performance. And in the social media aspect, because you said I do social media, I'm looking for highlights. This is a night where I think Ja will shine. Y'all mentioned it already. He will shine. Somebody might catch a body tonight, that night. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Ja does on the highlight front, even if it's not.
All 3 of you are going with Ja, did he get snubbed in the All-Star game? Devin Marquette Walker?
Snub, that's a good one.
That's a big word.
So when you look at the All-Star game,
Like right now, what's he averaging? Like 18, 4, and 7-ish?
yes, and he would be the only player, the Grizzlies would be the only team in the playoff hunt right now that does not have somebody in the All-Star game. So if you just go off that, yes, you got snubbed.
But then, okay.
But if you look at historically, rookies don't usually make it. But I wanted to see Ja in the All-Star game. I think this is probably the only year in his career I think he doesn't make it. But I think he got snubbed.
Yeah.
I'll say he got snubbed.
Yeah, I think since the Rising Stars Challenge started in the mid-'90s, I think Blake Griffin, Yao,
Yeah.
I mean, there's only been a handful of rookies who have made the actual game. It's just really hard to do. Snub is like tough because there's always going to be more guys who deserve to get in than actual spots. Like people can say Bradley Beal got snubbed. Like I think the stat came out after Bradley Beal and Devin Booker are the only players to do X, Y, and Z, to like not make the All-Star game. And like nobody knew that before the stat came out, and everybody goes, oh wow, they should have made it, this and that. But fans didn't vote for them. So, it's obvious. So that's kind of how it goes. The fans vote in who they want. Trae Young got in for that reason. I think this time next year we'll be talking about Ja being one of the lead vote getters in the entire NBA when you look at how Trae Young got about 100K votes, as a rookie last year to leading the Eastern Conference.
That's just based off highlights.
Right.
And that's just
Because
based
the team's
off highlights.
terrible. Because so you look at just House of Highlights, Slam, Bleacher Report. He's on there every night.
Yeah.
And that's how he got himself in the game.
Exactly. And Ja, he got 700,000 votes this year. He had 7 times more than what Trae had last year. So I think that bodes pretty well for him next year. So do I think Ja got snubbed? Not necessarily, only because he's a rookie and there's a lot of good rookies who haven't actually gotten in.
Yeah, snubbed is a very, very strong word. It's kind of like one of those things of
It's like love.
Do we think that he could have played in it? Yes. Would we have loved to have seen Ja play in it? Yes. Is he there yet? No, because he's a rookie. And I hate to say that that's how it's always been, but usually it's how it's always been. It's kind of like you got to work for that, and he is showing it. And I know next year, hands down, he'll be in there.
For me, if you look at just on the numbers front, if we look at the standings, go down the standings for guys that made the All-Star game, right? The Lakers, you have LeBron and AD. The Nuggets, you have Jamal. Did Jamal Murray make the All-Star game? No, he didn't.
No, I don't think he
The
did.
Clippers,
Wait, Nuggets, did they not get Jokic?
Nikola Jokic. The Clippers, you have Kawhi. The Jazz, no one. The Rockets, James Harden and Russell Westbrook.
Russell.
The Thunder, Chris Paul.
Yeah, he did.
Chris Paul. The Mavs, Luka. And
The
you go to
Grizzlies.
number 8. That's
Snubbed.
for me. That's what tells me that Ja got snubbed.
Who got snubbed on the Jazz?
So wait, no. So now you're
Donovan
saying
Mitchell?
he did get snubbed.
D-Mitch made it on the Jazz, so they did
Oh,
have
there we
snubbed.
go.
So now you're saying he did get snubbed.
Yeah, I said it from the beginning. He did get snubbed.
Okay.
'Cause he's the only
Let me
team-
ask you one more question then. Just you. Did Jaren get snubbed in the three-point contest?
Yes. Jaren got snubbed in the three-point contest. NBA, be better, please. If Davis Bertans can be in the three-point contest, Jaren Jackson can be in the three-point contest. One of the most prolific shooters in the NBA all season, 4 or 5 threes per game. Put respect on his name. I'm done.
Quickly, yes or no? You
Yeah,
agree?
he did get snubbed for sure.
I agree with Jaren.
Okay, we're gonna move on to talk about, because we can all agree here, the passion he showed, none of you are gonna show. So.
I can't match it.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah,
can't match it.
I'm very passionate about that.
We're talking about the Grizzlies season. going into the All-Star break. So everything that's happened previous to now. So here are some of the highlights I'm going to read off to you guys. Already beat the Vegas odds with 27 wins, 500 team at the very least heading into the break. We got 3 All-Stars, obviously into the Rising Games. We're first in the league in assists, first in points in the paint. Holy moly, this team has been on fire, guys. Megan, I will start with you. What has been the biggest surprise for this season for the Grizzlies?
I mean, all those stats, like everything.
Pick one.
Just pick one.
She's not
Just
a big
pick one.
She can't pick one.
Change the question.
I mean, like,
what do you want to?
No, seriously, all of that. I think going into this season, I didn't think that we would be in February talking about a playoff spot. I didn't think we would be even trying to say those words. Like, we're just gearing up for next year. Just getting better. I didn't think that. But I guess it would be where we sit. Like, where we sit as a total, because I think the total kind of encompasses all of that, is the fact that, I mean, you said it, that we've beaten the Vegas odds. I think we did like a preseason pick, and we chose what games would we win. I think I had 25 for like the whole entire season.
You're happy that you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm happy I'm wrong. I'm totally happy that I'm wrong. Going into it, this was such a young team that I didn't know how it was going to mesh, and that they've exceeded my expectations. I think they've exceeded a lot of people's expectations for where we sit, and it is shocking when you look at like new head coach, new coaching staff. You got a new GM. You got guys who are 20 years old. Like it's absolutely unbelievable.
I'm going to say specifically that they are.
Omari's going to answer the question very soon.
I finally answered. I got around to it. It takes me a minute.
Blue check certified. Omari, what's your answer?
I'm going to say that they have a winning record at the 53-game mark. Yeah, I think a lot of people, didn't expect them to be better than like the 14th best team in the conference. I think some people may have been a little bit higher, but even that means maybe they matched last year's win total. They went around 33, 34, somewhere in that range. For them to be 27 and 26 going into the All-Star break, or at least 500, depending what happens against the Blazers tonight, at least 500. I mean, that's a massive accomplishment. I think I wrote earlier this season that they're on pace to be the first playoff team in the Western Conference with a losing record since X year, and now it looks like they have a good chance to actually have a winning record. This is the youngest team in the NBA. Even before they traded Iguodala, they were already one of the youngest teams. And a lot of guys have surpassed expectations. I mean, Ja's been the best rookie point guard since, who knows?
Insert here.
Ever.
Ever. And, and he's been the best rookie overall since, he's in that category of guys like Blake. You look at guys who just kind of emerged as the alpha dog on their team and helped them win more games than expected. Ja's in like that top tier of rookie that we've seen in the last decade and a half or so. Jaren, as you said, is knocking down, 3 or 4 3-pointers a game.
I think he said one of the most prolific three-point shooters in the NBA.
There you go.
Of all time.
Quote that.
Wow.
Prolific. You like that vocabulary?
Man, that's strong. But
Shout out to
I'm
University
surprised
of
you're able to
Memphis.
say it. Good job.
And even all the bench guys have really stepped up. Like D'Anthony Melton's been good. Grayson Allen,
You love
he was
D'Anthony
really
Melton,
good.
though.
Melton's good.
You love typing his name.
Melton's good.
But he is
he's got
good.
I'm not
He
disagreeing.
has that TA vibe to him. All
he
the
does.
Grizzly fans out there, they know the guy that's always making the play, like making the scrappy plays. He has that TA vibe.
I mean, you can literally go on the roster and just say that every single player has like exceeded people's expectations. I didn't think D'Anthony would be
You
shining
think
like
Grayson Allen
this.
is exceeding expectations right now?
Okay, he's
How dare
injured.
you.
Yeah, he's injured.
Before he got injured.
He was.
He was
I
playing
don't think
well.
anybody
He
expected
was
him to
playing
contribute.
I'm asking a question. I'm asking a
I
question.
didn't. So it's like expectations. Like I didn't see Grayson Allen being the like star. I saw him being the shooter that we needed, and there was moments when like he was. We didn't get to see it in a complete package deal because of his injury, and he's been off and on hurt. But when you say like a whole team has exceeded, that usually means every player really has to. Because I didn't see anyone meshing well or even putting up numbers and stats like they are right now.
You said the big word. You said meshing well. And that's the biggest thing about this
That's
team.
a big word.
Like, I'm glad you said that. Because I was thinking, I'm glad you said that. Because when you talk about exceeding expectations, that's the reason why they're exceeding expectations. Because you have guys that are meshing the way they have. And that's a credit to Taylor Jenkins. Like to have all those guys that are 23, 24, 20, 27. Usually when you have egos that come into play. When you're 20 years old, we're all 20 at one point in our lives. There's an ego.
Oh, I was a little.
Exactly. There's always an ego.
I was pretty chill. I don't know.
I think we're the chill side. I really do think we're the chill side. I don't know what that side is. I don't know.
The average 20-year-old, there's an ego too. There's an ego too, especially playing in the NBA. But for these kids, for them, Ja, Jaren, JV, everybody to come in and kind of put those egos to the side day one, and put together what they have, it's attested to Taylor Jenkins, the entire coaching staff, to how they've put things together and still kind of an environment.
Okay, wait, so what's your answer?
What? So what question?
What the original question? What are you most surprised about?
Oh, can I get there?
Kelcey's on time
All
crunch
right.
for us.
No.
So I'm most,
Let me kick my feet up.
I'm
Let me
most
wait.
surprised about the
Soapbox.
way they've come together in such a short time.
Oh, it was just one sentence I had to wait for? I'm sorry.
I was gonna get there. So we're gonna ride the train, and then we're gonna eventually, when you drive a car, you just don't like teleport to the place, do you?
It's true. No, you
No,
don't.
the teleportation
Yeah,
is not
get there.
there.
It's not.
So you get in the car, you ride it,
Yeah.
you make a couple turns, you stop a couple times,
Yeah.
and then you get there. That's what I was doing.
And I
driving
cut you
to
off
Savannah
on the,
about
I cut you
that.
off on like the stop sign right before coming into the parking lot.
Exactly, and now I'm here. So yeah, that's what the biggest surprise, how fast these guys have meshed together and put their egos to the side and come together to be a playoff team.
That's my fault. In the game on the weekend against the Washington Wizards, it was without Jay Crowder. It was without Solomon Hill. It was a very, very young squad, and these guys showed out. So if we look at the stats from that game, Jay had 14 and 11. JP had 8 and 18. Kyle 16 and 5. Tyus 13 and 3. BC 9 and 6. And of course, John Morant gets his first NBA career triple-double with 27, 10, and 10. So here is my question I posed to you, Megan. How has this young core evolved from the very beginning of the season?
I think you just see it from the biggest thing is time. And that the time at locker room, time at practices, they're constantly always working. When you go to practice or when you go even after the game, they're always talking to each other. They like each other. They're friends with each other. I know someone's going to say probably, oh, who cares about that type of stuff?
No, it matters.
But it definitely matters, and it shows. It shows every single game, and you can see that. And we've kind of already mentioned it, with DeAnthony. Tyus, Tyus has had some amazing games these last couple of games. DeAnthony has stepped up, and I really just think it's just over time. That's just really the biggest thing, is because Ja said it and Coach Jenkins has said it. He said it from the beginning. Give us time. Every single day, we're gonna work on something and get better at it. And he was not stressed. There was moments at the beginning of the season I was like, what is he doing? What's going on? He kept saying, we're taking it one day at a time.
Be stressed right
one
now.
Game, one game at a time. And he was very calm about it. He said, just give it time. This whole let it fly. I know the last couple of games, 3-point shot hasn't been our thing, but there's games when it's great. There's games when they you can tell that they've corrected their mistakes from the game before. And all I can say is just time.
Yeah, I would say that. I'm sorry. Repeat the question again to make sure I answer it properly. The young core. Let's improve about the young core.
What has evolved the most
About the young
in
core.
our young core here with the Memphis Grizzlies organization?
I think a big part is that Jaren Jackson Jr. had a slow start to the season, and then I would say probably toward the end of November, I think with that Orlando game, we saw a shift in him.
Which game?
The Orlando game.
Okay.
We saw a shift in him just in how he was attacking the game. He became a lot more aggressive offensively. I thought his defense got better after that. He was managing his fouls better. I think once Jaren really kind of shook off his early season funk, which was probably just because he hadn't played basketball since last February, the team really began to kind of round into shape. Like when you have a guy who's 7 feet tall and can hit threes from 30 plus feet and can get them up at an extremely high rate. I mean, that opens the game up for everybody. He's been Ja pretty much since day one, but I think Jaren specifically is what kind of took this team to the next level. Brennan's been good throughout the season. I also give some credit to DeAnthony Melton, because he wasn't really in the rotation that first month.
You love
and
him.
then when DeAnthony Melton's a good dude. What can I
got
say?
hurt.
It's a great dude.
But when Ja had the back injury at the beginning of December, DeAnthony Melton came in and immediately played well. I think he had like a 9, 8, and 7 his first game.
And that's when fans realize, okay,
Yeah.
this dude, because we talk about the guy getting hurt and somebody coming in. That's what happened to Tony Allen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what happened to Tony. That's the reason why Tony Allen was in the rotation. So that's what kind of gave fans that, oh, look at this. We have another Tony Allen. But
We know what we had until we had to use them.
there you go.
Yeah, and the Grizzlies have been a different team since Ja and DeAnthony Melton have both been in the rotation, which was, I think, December 7th or 9th or somewhere around then. I don't know if they have 10 losses since then, which is, pretty crazy to hear. So DeAnthony Melton and Jaren specifically are the reason why this young core has evolved pretty much since opening night.
Dev?
I got to go back to the meshing thing because you look at that game you just mentioned, the game against Washington. Ja getting his first triple-double. And what did you see after the game? When Ja got that rebound,
hugs.
you saw hugs from every
First of
single
all,
guy.
I think even before he got the rebound, you can see everyone clear out so he gets the rebound.
So he makes sure he got it.
That's where it started.
That's where it
Brandon
started.
Clark had the biggest smile on his face when he hugged Ja.
And that's the thing.
So cute.
And to have a guy that you know is a superstar and to see him get a triple-double and the way everyone reacted, Brandon, like you said, Brandon Clark smiling, D'Anthony's hugging him, Jaren's, when you see a superstar like that and to see everybody react the way they did to him getting his first triple-double, that tells you everything you need to know. Because at the beginning of the season, like y'all mentioned, it was bumps in the road. You had times where they get a double-digit lead, they're blowing in the second half, and everybody's like, "Oh no, what's going on? Can they put it together?" As time went on, those guys found ways to win games, and now those games that they were blowing, they're winning now. They'll blow the lead, but they'll find a way to scratch and claw and win those games. And like I said, that moment when everybody's hugging Ja, the water bottle, everybody's throwing water.
In the locker room.
Those two moments for me are the biggest things that just kind of exemplify the season for me, because it's like, all right, if you don't have these guys being together like this, we don't have a 27-26 record.
Yeah.
If they're just guys that are splintered, guy over here, guy over there, guy over here, they're clicked up, you win 10, 11 games. You don't have a team that's throwing water on guys, hugging guys, seeing them do well. When Dylan Brooks got his contract extension, you see guys on social media shouting them out, teammates.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just like the evolution of those guys, just seeing the way, like you said, time coming together. When you're around people, I mean, for us as a team, like, we didn't know each other at the beginning.
Yeah, when I first met you, Devin, like I didn't even talk to you.
You guys still don't want to talk to each other.
Exactly.
But it is
Still
love.
like each other.
But that's our relationship, and it's
exactly.
love out of it, and like you get familiar with each other, and like
Exactly.
you have to give a shout out to Coach Jenkins with all that. I think he stepped back a couple of times and let the guys figure it out, or let the guys form that relationship. And also, there were moments when we kept seeing different rotations, different guys coming in, and we're always like, well, what is this? Like, what is this lineup looking like? What is this? But when you play the Wizards,
I think one of the first times we saw, sorry to interrupt you, Ja, D'Anthony, and Tyus on at the same time. And even in my mind, I was like, what
is going on? But you know what? When you see it, he's done it so many times. When you have the Wizards, like that game, and you had, the different guys being out, people being injured, they've already done this before. They know what lineup they can try. And they're not nervous to steer away from trying something new. Like, hey, go out there and see what you got. You love that about this team.
One guy we haven't mentioned at all in these last 20 minutes is Kyle Anderson.
Yeah.
Kyle Anderson has been kind of like the glue to the situation. Where you put him at the 3 spot, he's a guy that just moves the basketball. He knows his role. He's not a guy that's me. He's just like, all right, what can I do to make this
He
team
stepped
better?
up and played like the 4 and 5 in that game.
Exactly.
Like,
So
holy
he's
moly.
a guy where he says, Coach, what can I do for this team to make them better? And when you put Kyle Anderson in that starting spot, to say that Jay Crowder and Solomon Hill didn't play their role, they did. But to put Kyle Anderson in that spot, to honestly a better basketball player, that he's been better for the team. Like you said, he's doing the little things every single night to help that team out.
And Kyle Anderson is just old enough to, be like a veteran guy, but also just young enough to still be like one of the guys too.
Well, first of all, everyone's young. The oldest
Everyone's
guy on the
young.
team right now is a
Gordon
1990.
No, Gordon Jang is 30, right?
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
1990.
That's
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah,
And we
man.
just got him.
We're
So it's
washed.
not like
That's tough.
But Kyle Anderson, he's still a young guy too, and I think you see that synergy in the locker room with him as well. That it's a different sort of dynamic from with Crowder, where Crowder is more like
OG.
wise sage vet.
Yeah.
Kyle, like probably listens to,
The same music.
Baby and Gunna and
Like,
everything.
There's
like,
a song that those guys sing. It's a Pop Smoke song called Gotti. And to me, I honestly think because Kyle Anderson's from the New Jersey area and Pop Smoke's from that area, he's the one that brought that song to the guys, and they sing it all the time. And those are the little things. You have Jaren coming out singing that song that I'm talking about.
on the speaker box.
On the
Bring out
speaker box.
bring it
It's
outside.
little stuff like that, that brings the team together, and you never know who's bringing it to him. But I think Kyle Anderson has that little dab. He
For
can
sure.
add
I
to it.
don't know if Jay Crowder was a Pop Smoke guy.
No, he's not a big. He doesn't strike me as a big Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Okay,
either.
I don't care about Pop Smoke, so we're moving forward. Looking ahead at the Grizzlies.
I don't care about Pop Smoke. Man.
What's
Let's
coming
move
up
on.
for the Grizzlies? Sorry, Pop Smoke, hope you're not watching. The Grizzlies are coming up on one of the toughest road trips. A West Coast road trip. They're playing the Kings, the Lakers, who are first in the West, Clippers are third in the West, and finally ending off with the Rockets, who are fifth in the West. Omari, in a road trip, and I don't want to say this, I'm not saying this is my opinion, but on a road trip where you could potentially get swept 4 games, which one of these games are they potentially coming home with the W?
I think you have to get that first game against the Kings. That's in Sacramento. The Grizzlies at this point are pretty clearly a better team than Sacramento.
But it's not like a wash. Like they've lost to Sacramento this year.
They have lost to Sacramento this year, and that was actually one of the worst losses of the year, where they were up, I think, almost 20 in the first
De'Aaron
half.
Fox
and
is
just
a
couldn't
beast.
hang on to it. De'Aaron Fox
He's
is
been
a
the only
beast.
guard that gives Ja troubles.
Yeah, and De'Aaron Fox, I mean, he's a similar guard to Ja. He's fast, shifty, not quite the same leaper, but also more experienced and, just knows how to kind of dig down and win games. So this is a sneaky Kings team. They have some
shout out Canada. Sorry. One of
shout
our
out
coaches.
Canada.
Sorry.
And
Corey Joseph. Double shout out.
And maybe Marvin Bagley will be healthy by then as well. I don't know what his timeline is. But if you could get that Kings game, that's a back-to-back Kings and then the Lakers. That Lakers game is going to be hard.
Yeah.
They beat the Clippers this year. It was a short-handed Clippers team. I guess that one is a little bit up in the air. And then they have Houston.
They've never played the Clippers with Kawhi though, right?
They have not played the Clippers with Kawhi.
Kawhi played last game. Because I remember Ja ball faked him.
I don't think
Kawhi
did.
Kawhi played.
Either Kawhi or Paul George are out.
Get
Paul
it
George
out.
was
Either
out.
they've
was
never
out.
been both. Paul
Okay.
George and Kawhi have never both played.
Kawhi was on the court
the
because I remember
Grizzlies.
Don't you have internet?
I remember cutting a clip where Ja ball faked Kawhi, so he played the game.
Okay. So Kawhi played, Paul George was out.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them missed this next game, and then, of course that'll make it easier. But those LA games are going to be tough regardless. And then you go to Houston and you play a Rockets team where, like Russell Westbrook and James Harden just combined for like 70 points last night.
Is that it?
And yeah, that's a tough stretch. So you get the Kings, you have to get that Kings game, and then if you can go 1-2 against the rest of that slate, then I think you're in pretty good shape. I think anybody would take a 2-2 road trip.
I think for me, it's going to go back to what I've talked about the entire show, is those guys have been together, right? And when you look at this team on the road throughout this season, they've been, until this recent home stretch, they've been a better road team than they have, and then better at the crib. So they go on these road trips and they win.
Just call FedEx Forum the crib.
Yeah, it's a crib. That's what we call it.
No, it's cool.
It's the crib.
It's cool.
You call your home the crib?
I don't know.
What do you call your
Do
home?
I look like I call my home
You
the crib?
don't at all. What do you
No.
call your house?
My home.
Well, we're gonna call it their home. They've been better away from their home than.
Did I do that?
Yes, you did. They've been away from their home than they have been away from their home than they have in their home. So I think on this road trip, I think they get at least 2 or 3 of them. I personally think so.
Which three do they get?
I think they get the Kings one. I think it's a rematch.
I don't think there's a crazy.
I think Ja takes that De'Aaron Fox matchup
Yeah.
personally now.
Oh, yeah.
He takes it personally because people have called him not the Ja stopper, but the guy that has given Ja troubles. So he's going to take that matchup personally, and I think they get.
Why not the Lakers? They're 1-1 with the Lakers right now. They lost only by 2 points when the Lakers were here.
I think you could get I think they can get Houston.
I think
I'll say Houston because they have the Houston switched to that small ball lineup, and I think the way the Grizzlies play, it's perfect.
Are you saying PJ Tucker can't track Jonas Valanciunas?
Oh, they lost twice to the
you
Lakers.
can put. I think you
I
put
meant the
Jaren
Clippers.
at the 5. I think it's one of the first, not the first time, one of the times we will see that next gen lineup when you have Ja, DeAnthony, maybe a Dylan, Brandon, and Jaren, because they can match up with that small ball Houston lineup and they can overpower them. So I think that's the game they get. I think they get the Sacramento game, they get the Houston game, and they get one of the LA games.
I meant the Clippers. I
Okay.
feel like they could take the Clippers.
So yeah, give me 3 and 1 on that road trip.
Yeah, I think like Devin said, obviously Sacramento, and I don't want to say it's an easy given, but I think that they can take on the Kings. What's going to be the biggest thing to see is like with that back-to-back, like how does that affect them? And like the Lakers, it's not impossible, but the way that the Lakers are kind of like gelling right now, I don't see it happening. The Lakers kind of had like I would say I thought it was an off game against the Rockets when Rockets we saw that small ball for the first time. I was like, what's going on? But Houston, I see it being like a potential win, and it obviously would be a big win. But the biggest thing is that small ball that, like you said, getting the chance to see Gorgie play. If we, using him to come to back up JV and, having that extra big man on the roster, I think would be good. Because the Rockets did a really great job with defending against Anthony Davis the other night.
Yeah.
But I do think that we can potentially get around that. So I say 2 games, Sacramento and Houston.
Yeah.
Sacramento and
I
Houston.
think Jaren's going to. I think I'll say it right now on the show. I think Jaren has a massive game against Houston.
Really?
Massive.
Look in that camera right there and say
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson has a massive game against the Houston Rockets.
It will be very interesting. I can't wait to see us take them on with Russell, with James Harden. I want us to beat
No
them
excuses.
with no excuses. I want us to beat them. Nobody be out. I want everybody to play, and I want us to win. It's gonna feel so
And
good.
I want that Ja versus Russ match.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ja will wake up to play Westbrook for sure. They didn't. Westbrook
Ja
missed the
stays
tip
more
here.
Right, he didn't
Yeah.
come. He didn't play here.
He hadn't
First
played-
of all.
the last two
Yeah,
matchups.
I mean, but Ja's always ready. I'm not saying
Yeah.
Ja's
He
never
stayed.
not
That's
ready,
one person
but-
that always stays ready.
Yeah.
And I said it before. Like we talk about the Portland Trailblazers being a team that can possibly creep up against the Grizzlies. But for me, I think Ja's cut from that always staying ready claw that Damian Lillard has.
Yeah.
He, no matter who it is and who is against it, who's over on the other side, he always stays ready.
But there's definitely guys he looks at like, especially.
A lot of guys
Especially
do.
Russell Westbrook.
There's a couple of games you circle, a couple of players. You're like, you know what? I'm definitely gonna show out for it. Definitely that's gonna. I mean, it's just gonna be a good game. We haven't seen it. Like that's what I said. Like, it's gonna be so much sweeter. Everybody needs to play.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to play that game, please.
He's the guy that he came out of the draft and everybody's like, oh, look at the next Russell Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
And
He was like, I'm the first Ja
the
Morant.
first Ja Morant. So there you go.
Boom,
I'm
that's how
excited
we're
to
ending
see
the
it.
show, folks. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for coming on to the first episode of Talkin Grizz.
We drove the car, baby.
We all drove the car. Wave to the camera.
Are we
That's
home?
it.
We're home now?
Yeah, we're home.
We're home.
We're home. Get out of the car. Get out of the trunk. Omari, let me out of the
You're
trunk.
the only one in the trunk.
Still going with
too
that.
late.
Still
I
going with
already
that. See you
forgot
next
you were
week.
back there.